Welcome back, everyone, to game number 2 now, as we have Hmnos, Yaipen. We're calling them bot because they're clan tagged 5 as bot versus what is your education son here on the Hellborn side. And currently, the Legion team leading the series 1-0. Once again, what you got rejoined here by FoC. So far, what are we going to see here in game number 2? We see some more tri-lane and versus jungle. Will they swap it up?
It's a good question. I want to say that I do think that What is Your Education is probably going to stick with their comfort way of playing, which is a either a Tempest or a Keeper jungle in conjunction with a Suicide, as well as a dual safe lane and a mid laner. It seems what it has been like their comfort way to go for most of the tournament.
They banned the Keeper there.
As far as, I kind of think they recognize that it can be challenging to play against a Keeper with the heal in the towers, as well as the ultimate kind of piercing the Shrunkens as well. I think they might open with Myrmidon again on the side of bot. They decide to ban Sapphire, Demented Shaman, and Bramble. So they definitely...
Every game today we're seeing Myrmidon. That's great. Giving their options open. Get that first pick out of the way.
Maybe they... I'm kind of surprised... Oh, are we going to watch another Bushwhack game?
I mean, we can see the same opener here.
I understand the first pick Bushwhack. I don't think Bushwhack has that many counters. Like, I don't think there's any particular heroes there where you're just like, oh, this is direct counter to Bushwhack. I guess he's kind of weak against like high nuke heroes, but I think Bushwhack is like kind of well-rounded currently to deal with most heroes. Do you know if there are any heroes that are like really, really strong against Bushwhack in particular?
That's a tough one. I mean, I see a lot of Bushwhack in pubs ever since he got some small buffs, but as far as counters go, I mean, maybe like the obvious ones like Chronos, you just freeze him in place. Maybe just like overpower him and run at him with something like that he can't really man fight. I don't know. How would like something like a Berserker do against a Bushwhack? Is that just bad? He just gets kited? I mean, because he can't really be slowed, right? That's what I'm thinking, at least.
I think,
and he can't jump if you chain spike him. I don't know. Is Berserker just like not that reliable?
He gets darted as well. I think he can also die pretty quickly to the Bushwhack.
Oh yeah, he can miss on the dart. That's kind of annoying.
It's annoying that the dart doesn't currently state that it gives.
It's like
evasion.
a 70% miss, right?
Yeah.
Or something on the dart.
Yeah, it just doesn't state it anymore.
Oh, why doesn't it say that on the tooltip? I know it does that as well.
Yeah, that's why. Because they altered the spell, so it has like a physical damage percentage instead of your. Previous, it was like a set amount of damage. Now it's based on your attack damage. So I guess they just forgot to add the part that it also gives you evasion.
Darn, Learnatorium needs an update, man. I'm telling you. I would love if it had detailed hero tooltips as well.
Yeah,
it would be so nice. But anyway, let's not talk about client stuff. So as far as like bans go, I think the only differences were the Keeper and the Bramble both got swapped out for something. And then they still went with the Bushwhack. They pick up a Monarch instead of an Empath this time. And we're seeing the Prophet Solstice, which we saw earlier today in the previous series. They did quite well with that one, actually.
Yeah,
Sticking with good and reliable or old. This works.
I'm not entirely sure where they decided to go for the Monarch. I guess the Monarch was banned previously in the previous series, perhaps.
Yes, actually, I think Monarch was one of the blind bans. I think the other one was Magnus. I think Magnus and Monarch were the Keeper correct. And the Bramble bans. If my memory, I have pretty bad memory nowadays. I think it's getting old.
Yeah, I think Monarch.
So don't get old. Basically, your memory will stay intact.
Yeah, and get enough sleep as well. I think Monarch, well, she obviously, gives Bushwhack kind of more, he can maybe go for some more offensive items knowing that he has the Monarch to back him up in case he gets initiated on, so he doesn't really need to go for the Nullstone Shrunken simple line of play. But I do feel like Empath kind of complements Bushwhack really well with the wall as well as the heal and the extra damage, so he doesn't really need to buy the offensive item. So and currently I actually think that Empath is a slightly better laner than Monarch. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I do think after the buffs to her, she's a somewhat decent laner. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I know there's always mixed opinions about Empath. A lot of people don't like her. Some people like her. I'm not entirely sure. I've always been a fan of Empath, but
okay, so
I would say they're kind of on par with each other. Like obviously the Empath's gonna buff the Bushwhack a little bit better. The Monarch's gonna protect the Bushwhack a bit better than the Empath can. So
okay,
hopefully the Monarch can get him more reliably farmed. At least I think that's the goal. Probably keep him alive, get him farmed.
yeah.
Empath just kind of buffs his presence in the team fights more.
You are rarely ever like kind of upset to have a Monarch in your team. I feel like the hero sort of works in most lineups. It does pretty well in the lane. It gives you some extra vision with the
that ultimate in late game, man, is so good. Especially when Sheeps and Hellflowers come into the game, like just being able to nullify those items on your carry is really powerful.
Cocoon as well is really nice. Just in general, just to have a save. Oh, is that a prisoner tri-lane? Like Monarch prison the Bushwhack tri-lane top, and then like Sulfuras mid lane, Pharaoh long lane.
Say that's a scary looking Hellborn lineup. I mean, just looking at their heroes top to bottom, I'm like petrified to play against that. If I was
that looks really powerful. I really like this draft.
They have superior interrupts to like shrunken TPs. They have scaling with the Self and the Bushwhack, and then they have like punishing heroes if you overextend with like the Prisoner and the Pharaoh. They just got a little bit of everything. I think they maybe lack really good wave clear. They have the South, but other than that, like that's a scary looking lineup.
Yeah, I'm not like looking at the Legion lineup. I'm a bit confused as like they have pretty good heroes, but it's like how the hell are they laning this? Is it going to be a Nitro solo?
I think it's tri-lane Solstice again. Looks like Nitro and Drunken solos. I mean, they could dual lane the Nitro. I think. If you want to dual lane any of those heroes, you send out support with the Nitro, and then Drunken probably just wants the fast level 6, honestly.
I kind of hope that they're going to send the Nitro mid against the Sulfuras. I feel like that would be like the most like sort of redeeming value or redeeming quality of their lineup is that the Nitro probably he's pretty good against Sulfuras and Warner's one, but I'm pretty sure he can just box the hero out the lane pretty well, which would kind of force the Prisoner to start rotating middle lane.
I love this Drunken Master. Like I love the hero is so good right now and provides a lot, but man, do I really find it hard to play when you're up against a Pharaoh and a Prisoner. Like he's got to go up against Shackle and Mummy Wall. Like the whole big advantage of Drunken is this hero is so hard to lock down, so hard to keep him in place because his debuff allows him to just like get the stuns off him quickly and stuff. But man, when you're stuck in a Pharaoh wall, sometimes that thing feels like it's there for ages.
Yeah, I actually feel like, I do agree with that idea. I do think that, the games where Drunken can kind of get to play on a 1v1 lane. Wait, they're tri-laning long lane with the Prisoner and the Bushwhack. I did not expect that. I honestly thought they were going to tri-lane the safe lane because I feel like, generally speaking, when you have a hero like Prisoner, you would prefer to be on the safe lane because you're going to be closer to a tower, so you're going to have a lot easier time to hook your opponents into the tower. Whereas on Prisoner, on the long lane, you can hook them back, but where are you really hooking them? You don't really have like Monarch and Bushwhack. They don't really give you that much burst after you get the hook off. Oh, they're looking for a low one.
Do you think they did this to dodge the Solstice lane? Because I feel like Legion's. We're gonna have a Bloodlust attempt here. Here comes the Crippling Pollen into the hook. They don't have the Shackle though now. Is this enough damage? They're auto attacking him. There's the apple. Final auto attack goes to Monarch. He gets the Bloodlust kill. So that ward paid off for a Bloodlust. It's gonna hopefully get Monarch his Grave Locket straight away if he goes for that, or he might go for Boots. Probably his two best options.
So what were you asking me originally?
I was gonna say, did Hellborn, like, if I'm Hellborn, I read that Legion's gonna try lane with their Solstice. Do they send the Bushwhack to dodge that lane intentionally, or did they just feel like shutting down the solo laners is like more crucial to that, like for them?
I think their intention was to dodge the tri-lane, but it seems like the Legion side that they've responded with rotating both of their supports to tri-lane. But now you have a tri-lane with a Drunken Master, and that's a little bit of a sticky situation. You are, I mean, I will say that I don't think Prisoner is very good on long lane tri-lane. I have to say, like, but when you're tri-laning a Drunken Master, it's a little bit.
Better?
I mean,
Or no?
yeah, no, I don't think I think Drunken is like notoriously bad in the tri lane. I don't think. I guess
I agree. No, I agree. I think Solstice would be happy to either be in this 1v1 lane, which he has, or in the tri lane. But Drunken, on the other hand, does not really want to be here.
Yeah, I think the Nitro should win mid pretty hard if he plays it well, and I do think Solstice is pretty happy to go up against a Pharaoh in a 1v1 lane. I think that should be favored for him. So I guess. From what I'm seeing and from what I'm saying, it seems like maybe Legion aren't that dissatisfied with their lanes after all. It seems like they're
TP'd away.
Yeah,
he wants to go back to
he might be able
his
to
safety net. He might kill
it.
the Solstice here. The wall comes out.
Kind of doubtful.
Bushwhack's out of mana though.
But he might be able.
They're walking him down. He's got the health pot. I don't know. Oh, here comes Prophet with a good timed heal. Almost actually return kill here on the Pharaoh.
I'm a bit sad that the Solstice actually decided to back off there. Maybe it's actually.
I think he had stun cooldown, right? I think
he had stun cooldown, but maybe he could have chased him. Like it's like he just ran really far off. But I guess it would be pretty hard kill to go for anyway. So maybe it's okay.
Pharaoh's gonna have to go back to base, and then he'll probably port to bot lane, and then Monarch tries to TP.
Bushwhack's getting took.
Yeah, there's a Wheatfield gonna land. The two supports are up here again with the Solstice. Bushwhack's gonna have TP on cooldown now. He just ported up here, so he's gonna have to walk somewhere. Not a good opener for him. He's gonna have to spend a lot of time moving around.
They might dive the Monarch here, considering they're killing the creep wave and the creeps are chasing Monarch.
There is like 7 creeps in the tower, and Prisoner and Monarch trying to get these last hits. HP. Yeah, this is the pressure Solstice puts when he's put into like the lane like this. He can just clean the waves with his splash very quickly.
The Drunken's sitting at 19 creep kills currently. He's having a really, really good start.
The Kirby's doing really good down here. And mid lane is it's Nitro favored, but Self's not doing that badly. It's starting to pick up a little bit more for Nitro. A lot of damage comes in as he puts the blast off on him there, level 2. Actually, no, that was a level 3 blast off, actually. Self pops the health potion. Top lane. Prisoner getting very low. He comes out of the cocoon. He goes down. And Solstice gets credit for that one. A lot of counter pressure on the Monarch, too. It's got a health pot ready to be used. As the Carp's going to do some tickle damage there. Only level 1. And top rune. Ooh, that's a haste going to Nitro with level 6 around the corner. That is scary. South's hitting level 5 just now. So he's about 3/4 of a level behind the Nitro.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned if Nitro manages to get level 6, he can probably just, skill up his ultimate and just chase him down.
He's trying to kill the creeps quickly here, as we missed the kill on Bushwhack in the top lane. Solstice, he's got that protective talisman, but it doesn't block enough. He does fall. Might result in another kill here. Myrmidon has a creep wave on him, doing most of the damage here. Hook from downtown takes him out. Bushwhack ports back in. He's only level 2. And both the supports almost dead. Nitro has level 6, has mana for ulti with the haste. I don't know if he can actually solo him here because he might run out of mana for the ballistics to really do the trick. That's where most of the ulti damage, I think, comes from. So yeah. He's holding on to the haste for now, playing it patiently.
So looking at the middle lane, I'm actually kind of surprised that the Self-4 is actually having like 270 GPM going up against the Nitro. I feel like that's seems like he's having like slightly too good of a time on the middle lane. I don't know if I'm
not sure if it should be more one-sided than this, but
okay, maybe Self-4 is one of the few heroes that can actually
smoke Prisoner here. Oh, he dodges the hook. Well, he did use the haste, so he should have dodged it, right?
Yeah,
but Rocket's even coming in. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Nitro to kind of make him think twice about using that ultimate with the haste here. Top lane, they're playing very aggro. They know Prisoner's mid, so there only can be 2 up here at this moment, unless any TP support comes in. Level 6, 6-minute mark is what I meant to say, comes in, which means now we have nighttime for the Solstice. He could scout them out here, maybe. He doesn't have the second skill. He's going to go in with a charge here, has the ultimate, not going to need it. Hook comes in from Prisoner and the Shackle as the Legion side is swarming them. With 4 players, the tower is about to fall, and Dying comes out on the Nitro, going to force him back. Power Supply, or Sackstone comes in from Monarch, not going to save him in the end, though. They get the tower, Solstice sacrifices himself. So that was how many casualties? 2 two on both sides, I think.
I want to say this almost feels like a repeat of the last game where the side of but they kind of dove with 4 heroes pretty deep, and then the middle laner from the team of What Is Your Education, he kind of just TPs down and just starts picking up a lot of heroes. They're diving really deep. But
so Self got a double tap. They ended up getting the tower though, which was what they initially wanted. And then there's the 3-point strike coming out from Drunken. He catches Bushwhack. Can't really stop that at all. Once he gets caught by the lunge there, he's got to beat the combo. 600 HP with only red marchers. Gonna be tough. Got Ghost Marchers picked up on the Drunken Master. He's 370 GPM. The entire tri-core between 370 and 440 or 430 GPM. Goes in bot lane here and it just puts some pressure, I think. Not enough for a kill.
Yeah, this is not looking too good for the side of Hellborn currently. The Bushwhack is really struggling, even more so than I think he was in the previous game, honestly. The Pharaoh is also sitting at 150 GPM. He's also opting not to go for a Locker's Hatchery this game, so...
The Prisoner is trying to be very active with those Veiled Rots. I think he did a second hook attempt on the Nitro, and both times he's unfortunately missed, but yeah, it's hard for Bushwhack to get that safety farm right now.
Yeah, I also think that the Drunken, these are like the exact type of games where Drunken is really happy, where he can just sit on his lane and just kind of hit creeps and be around the 350 to 400 GPM mark, and just get his core item, get some levels. Once you get 11,
he jumps in here bot lane. Prisoner gets caught as the team support comes in. Pharaoh decides not to go for the wall, I think for obvious reasons there. 1 versus 3. Probably would have regretted being locked in the cage next to 2 supports and a Drunken. But yeah, I mean, also to add on to that point, I think going and facing like some low-level supports means they're going to take a lot of damage from his combo as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just like, it's damage he's always going to have because he doesn't need cast mana to proc that. He just needs to hit the 3 targets.
Oh, he just barely touched the hook from the Prisoner right there. I honestly think once I do think he's gonna go for Shamans here. First item. I think once he finishes this Shaman, it's gonna be pretty difficult for what he
gets shackled up here. He can't get the second stagger. He gets it off eventually. Not enough damage to secure the kill on the Pharaoh. He TP's in the face of them all. He will be fine. No level 6 Prisoner to cancel that TP. And meanwhile, the supports are sticking around the Solstice up here top. He just continues to farm away. Doing his nighttime farm.
One of the differences between the last game and this game, it was that in the last game the Apex was really kind of taking off and was getting a lot of kills early on and really good farm. And he was kind of buying time for his team.
TP coming in mid lane. Here comes the overdrive from Nitro. He's getting held down though. He can't run away, and he gets nuked down by the Morsugissima of Sulfuras. A lot of heroes are here in the mid lane, as we have the Legion tri-lane rotating over. Here comes a charge on the Monarch. He had a cocoon up in 1 second, didn't come up in time, so he falls. And Pharaoh, he does have Wrath of the Pharaoh. He could get a good jump here. He's gonna lock down all 3 in the Mummy Wall. Do they have the damage though? Here comes Sulfuras, put some pressure out. They're trying to hold their ground. They will get the 1 kill onto Pharaoh. Myrmidon gonna fall next. And now Bushwhack is in the middle of them all. This is a hasted Prisoner, by the way. As Solstice, he's trying to man up. Not going to be enough. All 3 fall. A big Pharaoh wall.
That was beautiful right there.
Catches 3, secures 3 kills. Beautiful. And he sacrificed himself for the good of his team.
Yeah, that was exactly what they needed to hold on to this game, honestly. It was looking really, really grim for them, and they were really starting to lose control of the map. But not saying that they're out of the gutter yet, but that was really, really something that they were looking for.
Yeah, definitely gonna swing some gold back in their favor, and ironically enough, they're still down by 3.4k gold. So, as good as that was, they still have some room to try to climb back here in game number 2. But they have level 6 now on the Prisoner, so some more spells at their disposal.
Yeah, the Drunken Master is just still, just chilling on the bottom lane, getting his gold towards his Shamans and getting his levels towards, I guess, 2 points in the 3-point strike is going to be really, really strong for him. So, But it was definitely a step in the right direction for the Hellborn team.
Bushwhack's doing some jungle right now, it looks like. He's kind of being protected by his supports, but at the same time, it's hard for him to really efficiently clear these. There's even a ward on this hard camp he's doing right now, so they know exactly where he is.
It's really challenging for Bushwhack to actually find like the space to farm in this game, because the hero doesn't really clear jungle too easily, and they're just not really allowing him to stay on the lane. So I guess he can just pick up whatever scraps kind of come down his lane near the tower.
You find it interesting that they went for the first pick Bushwhack here in game 2 when they tried that in game 1 and it didn't really work out for them the way they had hoped. Maybe they feel the Bushwhack wasn't like the reason for obviously why they ended up losing in the end. They still felt like it was still worthy of first picking.
Yeah, I think maybe they you know, perhaps they've just had a really good run in the previous weeks during the round robin, and maybe they just attribute a lot of their wins to the Bushwhack, so they're like, you know...
Invis Salfora scouting the way here, but they're on retreat mode as the ports were coming in from Legion. We feel gonna miss here following up that Carp. He's gonna go in with a lunge here into the stagger. Gets the 3-point strike. Myrmidon goes down to the Lord Salfora's nuke, and here's a good wall, but he cancels it right away. Decided he didn't want to be in there. Perhaps an accident. They are gonna bring down
2 kills of Bushwhack.
And a double tap coming out for Bushwhack. He gets 5 full charges on his knuckles now.
That's really, really strong for him.
Yeah, I think when you're a Bushwhack, having the gold come from your kills is always going to be great because you don't really farm that fast in the beginning of the game. So,
yeah,
great TP and team fight coming out for them. They see the Drunken, but it's just too hard for them to catch him. It's too slippery.
So here, I think it would be perfect timing for Bushwhack to smoke up and attempt the enemy Kongor.
At level 8? Do you think it's Oh, I couldn't tell if you were serious or not. He's getting caught all by himself here, and this is very concerning because he doesn't have any supports with him. He's just gonna get nuked down. The Nitro comes in with a blast off nuke. Meanwhile, they were counter killing the Myrmidon, so not really like what you're looking for. Monarch also gonna get caught here as well. I don't really think he can get out of this with Solstice on top of him. He's trying to buy time for the Prisoner hook, but I mean, Prisoner wants to be hooking the Solstice right now. He's kind of scary, to be honest. Got the team support behind him as well. Salforce takes out the tower while this is happening, but
it was just like a
one by one, like a domino effect.
Yeah, like they lost attention for just a little bit, you know, just like let the Bushwhack chill by himself on the bottom lane, like without any vision or anything, and the supports were just kind of running like mindlessly into the jungle. So, like
this reminds me when I go to Camperoon and you tell me you're not happy with me leaving you on lane.
But like they just had a very successful fight in the bottom lane where Bushwhack gets 2 kills. I think that they kind of just have to acknowledge the fact that, you know, they're still not in the driver's seat. They can't, you know, just play, you know, sort of carelessly. They still really need to play cautiously and recognize.
Top lane, here comes the overdrive. Ports are coming in. Myrmidon's got the combo. Lines up the Weedfield very nicely there. I think he hit the Carp first. And that's a legendary streak going the way of Nitro, and now he's 500 gold per minute.
Yeah, it's starting to kind of shift back in the way of Bud here. Yeah, I think they sort of have to recognize, you know, what happened. That went really well for them was on the bottom lane was they actually group as 5, and you know right now they're just getting picked up.
Watching this battle between Prisoner and Prisoner and Drunken. And Drunken's just too strong. Takes out the tower too.
Yeah, the last 5 kills were basically just, you know, them going by themselves.
Oh, big hook from Pharaoh. Does he have the damage?
I don't think he does.
He didn't get the. He doesn't have the Hellfire. Without Hellfire, I don't think he kills him here.
Wait, can he die here? No, there's no
Maybe.
way.
What? Oh, no, now he's got Hellfire up. But he baited for Solstice. Solstice is here. They should be able to secure the kill.
It was also level 1 Hellfire, so he just didn't have the damage. So. Yeah, I feel like they should just try to like group up a little bit more instead of going 1 by 1 right now, because it's just kind of, you know, they're losing like complete control of the map right now, and just they have really a strong team fight, but they're just not really utilizing it. They're just
they missed the Prisoner hook there. Solstice has a tablet, by the way, and an Energizer. He eats an Undying. He can't be healed up by the Prophet right now. He's forced to fall back. The Cocoon comes out on the Self-Force. Now Myrmidon forced to wave away, but here comes the Solstice ultimate. Lines up on the Prisoner. Kind of a split fight going on. Myrmidon gets taken out. There's the hook. Hooks in Solstice. He goes down, sacrifices himself, and now Bushwhack's free to auto attack here. Gonna be able to chase down the Prophet. Nitro is here with an Invis rune, but it is 4 versus 2. They're feeling confident, man. They're going in here with the Drunken Master. Cocoon comes out. Overdrive is gonna be forced to be canceled, and now Drunken's gonna maybe sacrifice himself. So yeah, that was a bit overconfident to say the least, going in 4 versus 2.
And what did I just say just moments before? You know, their strength just comes from being in numbers. They can't go one by one with their team. They just really need to work together and take fights together. That's like their only chance.
Can they hear you saying that? Like, how did they went as 5 after you said that?
Yeah, they might be listening.
It's very all ironic, but it's almost like you know what you're talking about, Fa. You call that basically word, like to the T, like what should have happened. And look at that, it worked.
Yeah, I mean,
it's good to see, though. I mean, they recognize, obviously, jokes aside, they recognized what they needed to do, and they went and did it, and it worked out for them.
Yep. Because if you look at the Legion team, if you look across the board at the heroes on the Legion team, none of the heroes really scream like, oh, we have really, really good kind of team fight synergy between the heroes. There are obviously some heroes that with pretty good team fight, but it's not like, I just feel like when you compare the two teams, it just feels like, that you have the Pharaoh in the front kind of walling off people, you have the Monarch to save, you have the Self-Force, the front line, and also, kind of deal an absurd amount of damage, and then you have the Bushwhack powerhouse damage in the back. Whereas the Legion is just kind of all in your face, hoping that they can actually kill people, because they don't really have any ways to save anyone.
That's true.
And they don't really have that much sustained damage either, I'm afraid to say.
Not at the moment anyway. They're kind of tanking up, really. They're not really going into their So I agree. And then also the Prophet can't really save whoever gets jumped because he's just getting Self-Force ultimated. So they kind of like, once you get self-ulted, you kind of just either have to hope you have the damage to fight, or do you just simply run away? And that's what we saw last fight. The Solstice just ran out of the fight.
And the Cocoon really, really deals with the Nitro ultimate well. Like I'm pretty confident the Bushwhack would have just died right off the bat if he didn't get Cocoon there. So, and then you also have the Pharaoh to deal with the Nitro like running kind of freely, as well as the Drunken Master, as you pointed out earlier.
Yeah, so they have a tablet already on Solstice. Which it's an interesting candidate to be the first guy for the tablet, but at the same time, I guess it's okay. Him versus obviously you probably don't want it on Drunken. Maybe the Nitro could go tablet, but it's a little awkward, I think, to go tablet Nitro.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I don't like the tablet on the Solstice. I feel like that hero is like hero that kind of rides on momentum, and I feel like buying a tablet just kind of is the killer of momentum for a hero like that. Maybe he needs to get out of but. I am not saying. I think honestly, just maybe Shrunken. I don't know.
Solstice is one of those interesting heroes to itemize. He's kind of like Self-Force. I almost feel like there's never like a clear-cut item path for how you want to build, and it's also a hero we see not as much as the Self-Force in comparison. So, I mean, if it was up to me, I love Staff Solstice, but I don't know if that's what he should be building this game.
It's funny. I'm the exact opposite. I hate Staff.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's so good though. You get day and night mode anytime you want. You get 2 hits on the passive.
Yeah.
I love Staff, but I think ultimately he's probably gonna need like a Shrunken at some point. Speaking of that, he goes for Black Helm. So I don't know what the heck I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, maybe you know what you're talking about. Maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. No offense. But,
I don't know if that's the case, to be honest.
But I have never seen a Solstice with the Energizer Helm tablet, so it's very unusual. I'm curious how it's going to play out.
I guess he's going to probably want to upgrade that into the Oblivion Ember then, right? He wants to sit on the Bushwhack and try to bash him.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That in that regard, it's probably fine. It tanks him up better than the Basher would because you get I think less overall HP. You get 10 strength from a Basher.
But I feel like currently he's kind of finding himself in like kind of a middle ground where I don't feel like he's like a big threat that the that they have to be afraid of, but he's not like. I guess he's somewhat tanky. Do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't.
Yeah,
have, like,
he's not committing to like one build. He's like kind of tanky, kind of utility. Like at the moment, he's not really a carry, but he's not really like a full on in your face. I want to tank all the damage either.
Yeah, they are running a
doesn't have investment either.
So they don't need to have like a super hard carry, but they're all sort of, you know, none of them are really dealing that much damage. I guess the Nitro doesn't really need that much damage. It's the Shrunken going for him. But
I think that's really good. Just going the Shrunken. I would like to see, personally, I think, a Nullifier this game, so that way the Monarch can't screw him over with who he wants to target down, but...
I think I would like the Nullifier before the Shrunken, actually, personally.
There's a lot of different builds for this hero. I've seen people go Portal Key, Hellflower, Shroud. Like, I don't think there's, like, any item that's greater than, like, another, but I think for this game, I would like to see Nullifier, at least.
I think, actually, I would have liked the Tablet more on the Nitro than on the Solstice, personally.
Ooh,
I think
we have a fight here in the Hellborn jungle. Cocoon comes out of Monarch, saves him for now. Prisoner is going down. Looks like a big... numbers advantage is what I wanted to say for Legion, so they just overpower them 4 versus 2, and they get those 2 quick kills. So they get caught a little bit there in their own jungle. I don't know if they spotted them on this. No, that's the Legion's Ward of Sight. Sorry. Actually, no, wait. That's the Legion's Ward of Sight and Hellborn's Ward. So I don't think they saw them there at all.
Yeah, so I was saying, I think I would have preferred the Tablet on the Nitro myself. I think I've seen that on people run that on that hero in the past, and I think that hero like relies more on getting out there.
Hook on to 2 here. He's gonna get the wall. They're gonna try to hold this tower as they are respawning. Drunken Master gets ultimated by Sulfuras, and Pharaoh forced to fall back. He eats a Carp Stun. Not really too much follow up to the Pharaoh ult. He pretty much just trying to buy time to hold the tower, so they don't get any kills. And Drunken had the full barrier idol, so he mitigated a lot of the Sulfuras nuke damage there and was able to hold his ground, doesn't end up falling.
What do you think the Drunken's gonna go for now? Like a Demonic or a Hmnos Heart or something?
I see a lot of people just go straight into Heart after Bear. And
I think that works really well.
I don't think that's honestly that bad because they have a Tricore. He could just be the guy who goes in. But the Demonic makes a lot of sense too. I think against Prisoner and Bushwhack, and a lot of their damage output is going to be mostly from Bushwhack.
Sort of the only sort of issues I have with Heart here is that they're going up against Sulfuras. So, but I guess it's not like the end of the world if he gets ulti by Sulfuras. That being said, I know PKP also loves to buy Spell Sunder on literally every hero, so Spell Sunder is also a very good item against Behemoth's Heart in general because it's percentage based of your HP, as well as it removes the health. Are
you all that sad though if you force the Sulfuras to build a Sunder? We have a Solstice ultimate channeled. Well, he lines it up at the tower here. Meanwhile, we have a fight where Bushwhack takes out the Myrmidon. He's gonna have his Shrunken head wearing off. Pharaoh is locking down the Drunken, who gets out of the wall. And while that's all happening, 1 player for each side only falls. They trade Prisoner for Myrmidon. So really, nothing too crazy ultimately happening from that fight. Unless they decide to stick around, they're maybe going in here on the Solstice. I don't know if this is the right call, though. They are going to bring him down here. They have Undying, so they were feeling confident. And Drunken might also fall here. Are the slows going to be enough here? Bushwhack trying to get in range with the dart. Gets the DOT, survives with 100 life. Now Prophet gets sacrificed. Nitro does not want to take this fight at all. So they were right to take that fight. They get 2 kills, actually.
They're really strong when they start grouping up together, this lineup. But they... So going back to the Spell Sunder, are you forcing the Sulfuras to buy the Spell Sunder if he, like, if he buys it, on his own? If he's gonna buy it anyway,
I guess in that sense, no. I was under the impression that he doesn't want to go for the Sunder, but I guess if he likes it that much that he buys it anyway, then maybe the Heart isn't the best choice, and you could just go for something like a Bulwark into a Demonic. They want this tower, man.
It seems like
he deny it. Oh, he almost got it. He gets shackled though now, and he might regret that decision. So he was feeling he was unkillable down there, or at least that he could get the deny. Neither of those things were true, since he A, was killable, and B, didn't unfortunately get the tower deny. So he's dead for 45 more seconds. They might be able to get some tower damage here. bot lane while Nitro is busy counter pushing the top lane, and look what he bought. He bought the Nullfire Blade.
Get back here.
Ooh, hook on the Invis Nitro. I don't think they actually know they hooked him. They see him now under the red ward, but he shows himself anyway. Overdrive takes him out. Buyback comes in from the Drunken Master, forcing the full retreat of the Hellborn side. They use that Cleansing Wind to get away. They're going to go for the TP out on Monarch. He might get spotted. No, it was fine.
It really seems like the Drunken is actually lacking some armor because he's just getting shredded by the Bushwhack really quickly.
6.2, not that much.
Yeah, so I kind of would have liked for him to, like, he was sitting on like 700 gold. I kind of would have liked for him just to pick up like a Salt Bullbug or something, also just to help his team a little bit with armor, because the Bushwhack is just really just killing people quickly as it advances. So and the Salt has just picked up a this is very interesting. He just picked up a Sand Scepter.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what is that for? Is that for the Monarch?
Yeah, it's to deal with the
and the Shackle, maybe?
But I think so. Forest has finished the morning, or maybe just bought some build-up for it. If you actually finished the morning, there's no way you did.
By the way, we're seeing a much more farm Bushwhack this game. He's 500 GPM, so even though he had the really bad early start, he's recovered very well. Drunken goes past the tower here, but he decides to go back. He dodges the hook here. Slow comes in from Bushwhack. There's the Undying as well. Pharaoh missed the ultimate though, and that is going to force them to retreat. They're not going to be able to take this fight now, with Pharaoh unfortunately missing that initiation.
But they're really struggling to bring down any hero on the Legion side here. I feel like they're like kind of getting the jumps, but they just can't bring anyone down at the sense.
Wakefield going to be dodged here. The tower is actually hitting Myrmidon with the shackle on him. Drunken jumps in there. There's the Shrunken, but there's the Overdrive doing a lot of damage. Bushwhack, he's going to try to man up here as he gets his safety distance, trying to turn this around. They're going to take out the Myrmidon. Solstice ultimate hits onto several heroes. Bushwhack melts. He ends up falling, so they take out 2. They're trying to chase with the Sulfuras, but now it's him that has to fall back. Gets a Cocoon, but this is going to only delay his death, possibly. Or do they take out the Solstice in return? Sulfuras actually holds his ground there. The Pharaoh and the Monarch keep him alive. And it ends up being a 3 for 2, which technically in numbers they won on the Hellborn side. But they still did lose the Bushwhack, so.
Yeah, I guess like, since they do lose the Bushwhack, maybe it's not as good as they could have hoped for, but kind of like I feel like the Hellborn side, they just have really strong team fight as this game gets longer. The Sulfuras is pretty close to finishing his demonic. Bushwhack is working towards his Nullifier, which is going to help him greatly at dealing with the Nitro ultimate, as well as I guess he can't really Nullifier if he pops a Shrunken preemptively.
You know, I thought Bushwhack had his Nullstone, but maybe he just bought the recipe, because he's still sitting on the Blessed Orb in the inventory.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think he needs either the full Sustainer or one more piece, whatever he's got going in the stash there. And Nitro's got his level 3 Nullifier already. So what do you think Nitro should go for next? He's got the offensive item and the defensive item. Now he can kind of go into, like, I want to say, like, anything in terms of how he wants to play.
I'm not too experienced when it comes to Nitro. I still think they need more damage. Like they're just really
maybe Shroud, like into Genjuro, like just be like positioning to pick people up.
That might be good. He could. Hellflower is not particularly good against Monarch. Do you think going for something like a Thunderclaw? Do you think that's like crazy?
I have seen him play Hypercrown Nitro when he plays like safe lane free farm.
I remember I saw that as well in the past.
And I don't think it's that bad, but I don't think it makes sense to buy it now.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking, like,
because if he wants damage, like to kill people faster, I don't think he would want the lightning. I think he would want something just that offers more DPS.
What would that be? Is like a Savage Maze or something?
It could be, yeah. I think either a Genjuro or a Savage could make a lot of sense. We have a fight here mid lane. And Drunken Master probably lived that for a long time as I rambled, but he did get zoned out from the rest of his team, had the Undying on him as well. I think he also got prison breaked. So they used a couple of ultimates to bring him down. Maybe even the Pharaoh started that fight for them. But with Nitro top, they weren't really able to full-on fight that.
Yeah.
And Solstice ultimate hits Sulfuras only and Illusion, so it didn't really hit that many targets. They tried to be sneaky there. Drunken's up in 25 seconds. They know that Pharaoh doesn't have an ultimate, but he does have barbed armor, so they also don't want to focus him down. Solstice going to cancel that charge. It's not really the fight they're looking to take. 14 seconds still on the Drunken. Bushwhack has Shrunken available. Nullstone does get popped there. Feeling pretty confident. Nitro with the haste, but again, I don't think they want to take this fight just yet.
So I'm seeing the Drunken just finish the Helm. So now they have 2 Helms on their team. And in general, it's an item that I'm not like particularly fond of. It doesn't really give you that much survivability in the later stages of the game when the block value is kind of insignificant, and you basically would just prefer to get armor going up, especially when you're going up against demonic. They're basically just gonna have like true damage going up against you, which is gonna be a lot of damage. So.
That helm for me is no bueno because we talked about he wants the armor, but also like if he were to upgrade this into the Oblivion, he has no attack speed really to utilize the bash.
He could go Ultors maybe. Ultors heavy.
That's probably an. He could.
It's better at least.
But is that really like something he needs? I don't really think he needs that Ultor upgrade as well.
I think the Salt Bullet was kind of a no-brainer in that situation, honestly.
Also, when you build the tanky Drunken like this with Helm and Shamans, don't you typically want the Helm first?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think you buy it.
Solstice got hooked, by the way, but he makes it to safety, and now the Prisoner overextended into the tower. Here comes the Solstice ultimate, but there's a Shrunken on the Bushwhack as he's trying to go for the Nitro. Misses a lot uphill, but does bring him down. The Onslaught streak comes down. There's a buyback from the Nitro as the Drunken falls as well. They take out the Solstice. This fight is heavily won by the Hellborn side. Bushwhack gets a hat trick, and that was the DD. I couldn't tell because he had the Nullstone up, so it actually was hard to tell he had that DD, but there was a big part of that fight going in their favor. Now Prophet's gonna fall as well. It's a quad kill for Bushwhack, and now it's starting to look very scary here. The gold lead shifted in the last minute from a 3k gold lead for Legion all the way to a, well, we'll probably call it a 3k gold lead here. 4k, gonna be a little bit more with the racks falling. And the tides have turned all of a sudden in game 2.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, just a few minutes ago, the Legion side, they were like 2,000 to 3,000 gold ahead of the Hellborn team. But even then, I still had like an intuitive feeling that Hellborn was just at a pretty big advantage, considering they had just finished the demonic on the Sulphurs, and the Bushwhack kind of had its core items, and they have just Pharaoh also has like whatever items it needs. So they just have the GPM on the correct heroes and the correct items. Whereas I feel like looking at the Legion side, their items are a little bit more unusual, which I feel like is somewhat harming them here. But they also have, I will say, they have worse team fight compared to the Hellborn team, in my opinion. So a slight net worth lead of 2,000 doesn't really kind of how do I say it doesn't really offset the fact that the Hellborn has better item choices as well as better team fight. So.
Oh, by the way, Myrmidon denied a statue in the Legion base, so he's a confirmed spy.
Okay, that's a shit, man.
The statue which protects those base towers guarding the world tree. That's one more hit the creeps, or one less hit the creeps have to go through to get to that base.
So the Bushwhack went for the simple here.
Yeah, it looks like the same build he did the previous game. So it's valuing the sustain. To be honest, it's gonna be really hard to bring him down through a symbol.
I agree.
2 other defensive items and the Monarch.
I almost just want to say that I don't think it's necessary when you have a Monarch, perhaps, but maybe I probably would have just liked maybe something like a Wingbow or something, or just, I guess Wingbow's not like that's that necessary.
I think Wingbow could make a lot of sense though. I mean, he's going up against 3 people that want to like hit him, and it also kind of tanks him up with armor and gives him more range and stuff. I don't think the Wingbow would be all that bad, to be honest.
It just seems very defensive just to go like Nullstone Shrunken, like simple. You just have like very little damage. I know Bushwhack naturally has a lot of damage, and they do have the demonic from the Sulphurs, but I think he probably could have been a little bit more sort of offensive with his choice of items this game, considering that I'm Monarch. But
so what you're telling me is this is the item build pro bus with you?
Yeah, I sure. And it was the Steam Boots on strength as well.
Oh, He's got him on Agi right now.
I think that's actually kind of pushing it. I think you.
He needs to put him on strength. Or HP.
Immediately.
Get back here.
Monarch's
But
got 2,000 gold, man. Is there something he should buy before they take this base push?
I mean, I don't think it's like horrible to have a buyback, but you probably could buy it. Yeah, tablet would be nice.
Scepter, PK, something.
Yeah.
Solstice ultimate. It's the Bushwhack and the Prisoner. Here comes the jump from Pharaoh, though. It only catches Myrmidon, but it is going to wall them on the ramp, which really just disrupts the defense.
There's another
DD and another DD on Bushwhack. I mean, he just takes out the racks. He doesn't care. He has the Shrunken ready to go. And he's going to pop the symbol there and the Shrunken. He's right-clicking. Prophet goes down first. Solstice forced to fall back. Tablets himself into the base. Got the Undying on him, though. He gets nuke. No, he dodges the nuke. Pharaoh Rocket just a little bit short. Oh, if some of those hit, he was dead. But it's not going to matter, I feel like. They're just 5 alive, fighting through the base.
You don't even need to have any offensive items when you're just
Unkillable.
when you're just picking up every DD there is.
True. DDs do help with lacking damage, right?
But yeah, I definitely don't think that I don't think the symbol was bad by any means because they, as I said, Legion they don't really have any sustained damage. So if they kind of just win by attrition, I feel so.
Game 2 is going to go to What Is Your Education, Son? We are tied up here, 1 game apiece, which means we got quite the series ahead of us. Again, this is a best of 5, so we're guaranteed at least 2 more games now.